Hello, my name is Franca Pellegrini. I'm the head of Global Freedom Network, the faith-based arm of Walk Free. And I'm here today with Her Excellency Chiara Porro, the Australian Ambassador to the Holy See. Ambassador, thank you for joining me today.
It's lovely to be here, Franca.
Could you tell me a bit more about your role and how you work with the Vatican?
Sure. So I've been Australia's ambassador to the Holy See for the past 3 and a bit years. I represent Australians of all and no faiths here, and it's really an opportunity to work with the Vatican, to work with the Catholic Church's worldwide networks to advance our shared objectives, whether they be responding to conflict and disaster, working on climate change issues, on development and poverty reduction, and human rights generally as well, including the important topic of modern slavery. For us, it's an opportunity to harness the Catholic Church's global networks, to harness the influence of the Pope, and also to work with interfaith networks with whom the Vatican works as well across the world.
Such a special role that you have. Could you elaborate on what the government is doing in this area and if you see future opportunities for progress?
Yes, so the Australian government is very committed to the issue of modern slavery. For us, unfortunately, our region, the Indo-Pacific region, has the highest number of victims of modern slavery, as the Global Slavery Index highlights. So for the Australian government, it's a real priority, and we are working in particular within the region, so bringing countries together to address this issue, recognising that the issue does not stop at the border, so we must all work together to address it. In particular, we've set up a forum, the Bali process, back in 2012, as alongside Indonesia, and it now involves around 45 countries and 4 UN agencies to address the issue of modern slavery and ensure that our responses are coordinated. We've also recently set up, or in 2017, set up the Government and Business Forum, which Walk Free is a partner with us on, recognising that business leaders also have an important role to play here. Annual profits from modern slavery are $150 billion. And so I think there's a real need to get all partners together at the table, and that's what we are doing as the Australian government in the region. We also have an ambassador for modern slavery, for people smuggling and human trafficking, Lynn Bell, who is extremely active, both regionally and internationally. And it's an important contribution that Australia hopes to make for our region, but also for the world.
Thank you, Chiara. We really appreciate you speaking out on this issue so passionately as well. Final question, what is one action that you would want other ambassadors and those in positions of power to take in response to the reality of modern slavery?
I think the most important thing that we should all be doing is listening, and listening to the voices who have been for too long silenced, who have been voiceless effectively, these individuals who are these victims of modern slavery who have so much to teach us. I think it's not just a moral imperative, but it's actually the best tool we have to fight modern slavery, is listening to survivors, listening to their experience. These criminal networks that operate to sustain modern slavery are so advanced and ahead of a lot of the responses that we have in place. And I think for us to listen to the victims, listen to survivors, understand what the drivers are, will teach us so much and will really help us to address this scourge of modern society.
As you know, modern slavery is an issue that is taken very seriously by the Catholic Church, which has had a long history of standing up for the rights of the vulnerable. His Holiness Pope Francis is particularly outspoken about this issue and has called modern slavery a scourge. Could you tell me about some of the work that the Holy See is doing in this area?
Sure. The Pope has been incredibly vocal and has been an important moral voice on the issue of modern slavery. He's called it a crime against humanity. He's lobbied world leaders to do more on this issue, but he's also asked individuals and communities to address the issue and the fact that unfortunately we're living in a throwaway culture, which I think is incredibly important. We need to put back human dignity and the values of fraternity into our day-to-day, which unfortunately have been very much forgotten. And the Pope speaks often about this issue. The Holy See also does a lot through its various arms. There is the Pontifical Academies for the Social Sciences that are incredibly active on the issue of modern slavery, bringing together experts, producing reports. There's the Dicastery for Integral Human Development, which looks at the drivers of modern slavery. There's the Pontifical Commission for the Protection of Minors, which looks at minors and vulnerable adults, including those affected by modern slavery. So there's a wide range of arms of the Catholic Church that are very active on this issue. There's also the grassroots level, where the Catholic Church is incredibly active, and here it's really the religious sisters that are on the front lines, supporting survivors and helping them to overcome, the issues that they're facing, and ensure that they don't become victims again. So there are various different elements of the issue that the Holy See is incredibly active on. I think the Vatican is also looking at addressing modern slavery in its supply chains, which I think is a very, very important issue given the scope and global nature of the Catholic Church around the world. So the Holy See is incredibly active, and it's an important partner for Australia and several governments around the world.
Thank you, Chiara.
Thank you, Franca.